And then a liaison officer from regiment came in with a lieutenant colonel, his staff, and all of his company commanders. They were from the 134th Regiment of the 35th Division, which was to relieve the 1st Battalion at once. Johns could hardly believe it. Even when he saw his replacements standing there looking fresh and confident, he was beginning to think the clay pigeons were supposed to go on forever, fighting all alone, except for the artillery. The new battalion commander wondered about Major John's staff. So he's got a guy coming in to take over. They're getting relieved. And the guy says, hey, what's up? Where's your battalion staff? Back to the book. Johns explained, and as he did, he reviewed in his mind all that had happened in the short 30 days since the first attack in the Bois de Bretelle. His whole forward staff was gone. Newcomb, Sadler, Carter, and McCarthy dead. Weddell and Hoffman wounded. Grimsell out commanding a company. Nab, Ryan, Todd, Stowen, Kordiak, Kenny, and Detman all wounded, besides God knew how many other officers he had never even known by name. The company commanders from 4 companies killed or wounded, mostly in the space of 7 short action-packed days. He stopped talking while he thought for a moment of all those fine people. When he glanced up, catching himself, he thought he was looking at a ghost. There stood Kenny, the shadow on his face wavering as the candle flickered in the faint breeze of his entry. So Kenny had been wounded, and now he's back. In an instant, his troubles, his preoccupation with the relieving officers were forgotten. "Kenny," he cried, "what in God's name are you doing here?" "Well, Major, I heard you got into town all right, but we're sort of short of company commanders. I saw Todd, Detman, and Kordiak back there, so I thought I'd better get on up here and see if I could do anything. The docs will let you go these days if you can stand up straight for 2 minutes without falling down." The major saw that Kenny was exhausted in spite of his cheerful attitude. He found out later that he had walked alone in the dark all the way from the division clearing station several miles to the rear in order to get back to the battalion. His legs and back were covered with bandages under his new shirt and pants. He said, "Well, old man, there isn't anything you can do right now. These nice people have just come in, so we're going to be out of this rat trap in a little while. You just go back behind Mrs. Blanchette here and lie down and get some rest. You need it." Kenny did as he was told. The strain had begun to bend even his indomitable will. At 0440, the major reported to regiment that the 134th Infantry had taken over. The wiremen took out the phone. The major shook hands and said goodbye and good luck to the new arrivals. Then he and Kenny followed the companies down the hill. Just 7 days ago, they had numbered 800. They were now only 450 proud, tired men, the clay pigeons who had taken the core objective.